Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel, Carolina Crowns. This is going to be the first video on the channel. I'm going to do a segment of videos pertaining to the Crown Vic. I'm planning on getting into reviews of all my cars, maintenance intervals, discussing how to change out certain parts and fluids and what have you. But today, on the very first video, I'm going to do a 5,000 mile review of one of my Crown Victorias. This is a 2009 P71 police Interceptor with the street appearance package. I'm sure the chrome molding, chrome trim's already given that away. This car currently has 96,000, roughly almost 300 miles on it. It is rocking 3,610 idle hours. When I purchased the vehicle, it had about 91,300 miles. So I'm right, like I said, right there at 5,000 miles of ownership and about 3,590-ish idle hours. 3,598 if I'm not mistaken. So this car, a little bit about this car came from North Carolina, Holly Springs, North Carolina, if any of you guys know where that's at. So obviously I try to stick to the southern regions. I live in South Carolina myself, you know, channel name obviously Carolina Crown. Live in the Carolinas, that's where I prefer to buy units from, mainly because of obvious reasons. You go up north, Salt Belt, you get the rotted fenders, rotted rocker panels, all that bullshit you have to deal with. So trying to prevent having to deal with that. Got it from North Carolina. Like I said, put 5,000 miles on it. Had absolutely no issues with this car. The only thing I've had to replace on this vehicle was the brake light switch. The original one that came on it, the OEM part, had unfortunately succumbed to age, I guess, and that had to be replaced. Other than that, I really haven't had to do anything to this vehicle other than what I've voluntarily pulled out of my pocket to put into it for preventative maintenance purposes. This car was a repaint. Originally, this car was white, believe it or not. As you can see, I have a little nasty spot right there I got to touch up. This was painted by Mako. So, you know, I know everybody has an opinion about Mako. Trust me, I wouldn't use them to touch up a car that I was planning on collecting. But as far as a daily driver, they will suffice. Next things up, now that you're getting to see a good image of the car, paint quality's not too bad for Mako, to be honest with you. I'm actually not disappointed. There's not a whole lot of overspray that I thought there would be. Original grille, and as you can see, I was lucky enough not to get a whole lot of overspray here. So that's pretty nice. Headlamps were replaced. Those are not new though. They did come off a 2011 Crown Victoria from one of the other vehicles that I will have that will make its appearance later on the channel. But they were not very oxidized. They still look in fairly decent condition, so I just threw them on this one for my daily driver. Obviously, I added that to it as well. Thinking about other things I replaced, the door moldings have been replaced. This car actually did not come with the front door moldings. I will show you a picture of what the car actually looked like when I purchased it versus what it looks like now, which just came a very, very long way. The back door moldings were on there, but these were also replaced because the chrome strip was actually peeling off. So I bought a brand new set of 4 of them directly from FordOEMparts.com, about 280 bucks. So not cheap, but it makes the appearance look way better when you replace that. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's talk about how much money I've actually put into this car. These seats are also not original to the car. It actually came with the cloth bucket seats for the matching matching cloth rear. I switched them out for these nice plush seats. So like I said, right now we're looking at 96,278.2 miles and 3,610 idle hours. Now let's look at how much money we've actually put into this car. So I bought it off Gov Deals, and this is actually what it looked like when I originally had purchased the vehicle. And like I said, it did come from Holly Springs, North Carolina. Where is the mileage? 91,313. So we're almost there. Exactly 5,000 miles of ownership. And it was this white color, and it did have those ugly decals on it, which is why it was missing the front door molding trim. After I purchased the vehicle for a grand total of $3,656.25, I then went to Mako and said, hey, I hate white. Will you change it black? They charged me $2,490.97, which actually ended up being $4,280 flat, because I didn't have that extra $10 bill, and they were like, screw it. So they were nice enough to give me that. Now, this is one of the executive packages from them. This was with a clear coat combined. This was, anybody that's familiar with Mako knows that they have 6 different levels that you can buy from, and this was second to top tier at the bottom of the list. So got it clear coated and all that stuff. Overall, no mechanical issues with this car. The only thing that bugs me is there is an airbag light that is illuminated that stays on all the time. It's been on since I purchased the car. I plugged up a code reader and it's saying something about a passenger side malfunction of some sort. I've checked under the seats after I swapped them out. Everything's plugged in, everything's functioning the way it's supposed to, but unfortunately it's staying illuminated. So it is what it is. Not a big deal. I'm not going to stress about it. I've had no issues with the car. Checking out the trunk, let's see the things that I've added to the car. I still got to get this situated. I did put a new trunk pack in here, and I do have these dog dishes, as they like to call them, but the hubcaps for the car to replace the wheel covers whenever I so choose. Did come with a full-size spare, jack, all that stuff's in there. So that was nice. I did personally add, and of course you can see where it was white before, I did personally add these antenna holders. I got these off eBay, relatively cheap. I noticed when I was looking around my car that I seen 3 little holes on both sides, and I was like, hey, what is that for? Well, it was a marked police car, but since there's no holes anywhere on the body, I was like, well, it must be places for the antenna, and sure enough, that's what it was. Last thing I noticed that I have replaced is the Ford badge on the trunk. This was a new one that I actually was able to find off eBay. Well, I say new, but it was new used. It looks new. And I replaced it. The original one that came on the car was very oxidized. And the only other thing that I can think of I have replaced was the wheel covers, because the ones that came with the car were missing the Ford badge, and that sort of irritates me. Last thing I can show you guys is up under the hood. Try to keep these as clean as possible. It does have a little dust on it here and there, but overall, very, very clean engine bay. Runs and purrs like a kitten. Runs like a brand new car. Couldn't be happier with my purchase. In total, guys, with both of those things included, the purchase price, Mako paint job, we're looking at about $6,500 there. Now you have to take into account all the things that I've done: power steering flush, brake bleed, transmission fluid, rear differential, obviously motor oil. Everybody changes their oil. At least I hope you do. All these other things are just preventative maintenance purposes. All those things considered, I've put in, oh, don't forget about the coolant as well. Put in about 500 extra bucks in preventative maintenance. Fluids, all Motorcraft, all from Ford. Looking at about a $7,000 investment sitting here. $7 grand. Now, I will be honest with you guys. It's 2024. Go out and pick you up a brand new car for $60,000 freaking dollars. See how long that lasts you. Or go and spend you $3,500, put another $3,500 in it, fix it up, look at about $7,000 with a car with 96,000 miles and a Ford Crown Victoria at that, which everybody and their mama knows the reliability of these cars. This car will probably last 300,000-400,000 miles, maybe even plus. Whoever knows. I could see this car lasting me for decades to come. So this is what I would consider to be one of the biggest and best investments I've ever made, was purchasing and fixing up Crown Victorias and just having them. I mean, to drive, to collect, you name it. These are one of the greatest cars built in modern day history. Last thing I'm going to show you guys before I end it, because we're going on 8 minutes and 30 seconds, is the undercarriage of this car. Like I said, it was North Carolina. So I'll let you take a look at the rocker panels. And you can see the frame as well. No rust on it, except maybe a minute amount of surface rust, but here's your rockers as well. So, and last thing we can look at real quick is the gas tank, because I know that's what likes to rot on cars. Obviously, this being a North Carolina vehicle from anywhere in the Carolinas, you're not going to even have much surface rust at all. So here it is, guys. 2009 Ford Crown Victoria. Police Interceptor was performance white, changed to ebony black. Love it, like the look of it, especially with the chrome trim, makes it pop. Welcome to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.